The fisherman was looking for fish. Then he spots a weird ship under the bridge. The 50-meter-long vessel was discovered by fishermen as it grimly drifting more than 157 miles off the coast. There were no signs as to what had happened to the crew of the large fishing vessel and no evidence there had been a struggle. Even the identity of the blue and white ship was a mystery, as there were no flags or identification documents on board. Naval authorities have instructed sailors to stay away from the area amid fears of what happened to the crew. Vietnamese fishermen found the vessel off the coast of Binh Thuan, Vietnam on Wednesday. The two fishing ships spotted the lights of the vessel and approached before boarding the ghostly bulk. They could find no trace of the crew, no trace of a struggle, and the engine appeared not to have been started for a very long time. Authorities ruled out an attack by pirates as there was no blood or bullet holes riddling the vessel. The fishermen towed the trawler back to the shore, but refused to bring it more than 2 miles off the coast while the maritime inspectors investigated. The ship's last recorded position, according to an online ship tracker vessel finder, was on August 1st. After the ship's discovery, vessels in the area were urged to change course and stay away or exercise extra vigilance if they could not change course, reports VN Express. Coast Guard eventually towed the vessel into port and determined the ship was called Kyonglin Yu and was of Chinese origin. No valuables were found aboard and the fishing equipment was missing, along with supplies of fresh water and oil. Ghost ships regularly spook sailors as the mysteries around what happened to the crew often remain unsolved. Earlier this year, a ghost yacht was found drifting at sea with the mummified corpse of a sailor still on board, with the body's identity eventually being determined as adventurer Manfred Fritz. Ghost ships full of dead bodies are being found washed up on the coast of Japan, amid fears they are being set adrift by North Korea. A giant 200-foot oil tanker washed up on a West African beach earlier this year with no crew members aboard. What is suspected to be a Chinese vessel was discovered abandoned by Vietnamese fishermen, raising again alarms over maritime safety in the region. Vietnamese authorities believe that an abandoned foreign steel-hulled vessel recently found near the central coast is originally from China, and that storms might have brought it here. Coast Guard officials have been trying to unravel the mystery of the vessel, spotted by Vietnamese fishermen around 60 nautical miles off the coast of La Ghi Town, Binh Thuan Province on Wednesday. There was no crew member aboard. The ship, which is 50 meters long and 8.2 meters wide, was then towed to La Ghi and anchored around 2 miles off the coast for fear of possible contamination. Its name is believed to be Kyonglin Yu. Inspectors added that the word Linggao on the ship means that it was likely registered in Linggao County, Hainan Province in China. Some documents in Chinese were also found. Local officials said this could be a fishing vessel which strayed into Vietnamese waters due to recent storms in late October. It is likely that the ship is from Linggao District, Hainan Province, China, an official said. There's no doubt that it has long been out of operation as all valuable parts were removed. We have reason to doubt that storms have caused the ship to drift into our waters. There was also no fuel in the tank. Local authorities have ruled out the possibility of hijacking, saying there's no sign of violent attacks such as bullet holes or bloodstains. The discovery of the ship has again raised alarms over maritime safety in the region. On November 12th, Vietnam issued a safety warning to vessels traveling through the region after a Vietnamese ship was hijacked off the coast of the Philippines with 6 crew members aboard. Following the incident, vessels in the region were urged to exercise extra vigilance or reroute from the area if possible. Mysterious ghost ships, sometimes called derelicts, have been reported since sailors first took to the seas. Some of these ghost ships are literal ghosts, legends of shipwrecks that are reportedly seen sailing again from time to time. The Flying Dutchman is one of the ghostly ships of this kind, said to be captained by a spirit condemned to sail forever. Then there are the accounts of real ships found at sea by crews, in the way the Dea Gratia discovered Mary Celeste. The HMS Resolute was found derelict by American whalers in the waters off of Nunavut in the Arctic Ocean after a year of being locked in ice. After returning the ship to Queen Victoria, she gifted a desk made of its timbers. Today, it's the desk used by the President of the United States in the Oval Office. It's hard to imagine that ships could still be mysteriously found floating adrift in the days of radio communications, global positioning systems, and long-range identification and tracking systems. Still, as late as January 2021, ghost ships are still being found floating in the ocean, missing crews under mysterious circumstances. The latest ship found adrift was the Yongyu Sing No. 18, a Taiwanese fishing ship. Just 10 years old, the vessel and its 10-member crew departed from its home port in Taiwan, only to be found empty by the U.S. Coast Guard near Midway Island 3 days after its last contact. After an extensive investigation, authorities determined the crew must have been swept into the sea by a significant weather event. Many are written off as victims of weather. Some have been found to be the result of mutiny. Many more just go unsolved, with lifeboats, engines, and other equipment completely intact.